with Sheepdog trainer Donnie Anderson and his beautiful dog Jess. Donnie and Jess are after taking part in the Sheepdog competitions here at the Ploughing Championships over the last few days. Donnie, but Jess is a really remarkable dog. Can you tell us about her?
Members of the public.
Jess is
there are also the
10 years old now in the next
50.
month, and she's just very good. Like, she's a great working dog, but she's great with people as well. And you can see her there. Like, she just loves a bit of attention as well as being working. So just very lucky to have her. That she's such a good dog. Isn't that right, Jess? You'll say something, are you? I go. She just loves. She's great with people as well as working.
And Jess actually, she rounds up geese even.
Well, that's part of what we do at home. Like, we have a few geese and hens and ducks, and they'll be brought in at night to keep them away from the fox, and she does it, and she's used to doing it, and she's just showing what we do at home, like that we do it here, just doing a demonstration, just because I think so many people don't actually get to see a dog working. So you can actually bring the geese to a place where they're in a show or something like that, where you can't bring sheep. So she does the same.
You've had the geese. Have you had geese here as well for the ploughing?
And sheep, yeah.
And how has she performed over the last few days?
Oh, very well. Yeah, she did a great job.
Can you tell us about some of the?
Well, just doing like what I would be doing at home, just kind of working the geese and bringing them in and putting them in a pen, and she'd sit there, stayed minding them at the pen while I'm working another dog then as well. But she actually, she's so kind with them and all, that she's able to do, and she just knows what to do. Like, if I say to her at home, like, to go and get the turkey, she'll bring the turkeys in away from the hens and that. So she kind of, you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Jess?
And you have her about 10 years, Donnie. You're based up in Tala in Dublin.
Yeah, past Tala from the hills there, yeah.
Can you tell me how she was trained and how you got into this?
Well, I bred her myself, and I bred her mother, and I just knew they were good, and she was a late starter, wasn't you, Jess? She didn't start working nearly till she was 2.5 or nearly 3. But when she got going, she's just that kind, and she's very good with sheep. And then when I was bringing in the hens and things, like, I noticed that she was good with them, so I just worked on with it and worked then with the geese and the ducks and everything. So she's able to do everything, really.
And anyone that she prefers? Any animals that she prefers to work with, or?
I don't really think so. I think she just works. She does anything I ever ask her to do. She does it, and she never really refused to do anything.
And you trained her mother as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do they compare?
Her mother was a good worker as well, but I didn't. She would work hens and she worked everything as well. Like, yeah, but she just wasn't getting as much work as Jess is now at the kind of things that she's doing. So, but she was always, and her grandmother was great as well. Her grandmother was nearly like herself, the same colour and all. So she's very good, sorry. And
Donnie, do you go all around the country with Jess? She is a very, very well-known dog. I've seen her in many headlines.
Thanks very much. Well, some people ask me like to go to shows, like particularly in Tala or something, where there's a show where people, no, not to say that I'm doing a show, but I'm just showing what we do every day, like, and just to show what rural life is about. It's one of the oldest things probably ever to work with a dog. And when you're herding stock, you have to have a good dog, really. Like, some people say they don't use the dog anymore because they have the quad, and I just say, you can't sit down and talk to your quad at night, So
she's great company.
Yeah. She goes everywhere with me.
And so what kind of reaction did she get now at the ploughing over the last few days?
It was good, yeah. Lots of people are fascinated just to see a dog being able to bring in, to be able to work with different type animals, like, well, poultry and the sheep as well. Where some people say they have a great dog for sheep, but he might be too rough for hens or something like that. But I'm just lucky that she's able to do everything. And she's as kind with the hens. She's actually nearly a little bit too kind with the sheep, because some of the sheep get to know that she's kind, so they'll face up to her,
And how unusual is that, Donnie, that she has that very gentle personality?
I don't actually know if it is that unusual or just because I do it. Like, I have 2 other dogs there that can do it with as well, so I'm not sure if it's that unusual. If people actually did it more with their dogs, they probably would do it, because, like, border collies are so intelligent that they'll nearly do everything, anything you ask them to do, like, they'll do it.
And what about your own bond with her? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. She's just good. Come on, Jess. She's the best. Like, sorry about that, lads.
No, and Donnie, you said that going around, you know, that you feel that
I'm
maybe
joined
this
now
is,
by
it's a tradition maybe that's kind of not as popular as it once was. When you go around to different shows and take part in different events around the country, do you find that is it an aging demographic, or do you see young people coming in and taking part as well?
Well, sure, I suppose the age profile of farmers is getting older anyway, so, or it has been for a while, so there's not that many young people actually doing, like, I do sheepdog trials as well, and there's not that many people doing sheepdog trials, like in the west of Ireland there's a few people younger people doing it, but not so much in Munster especially, or in Leinster there's a few, but like, I suppose it's because people are so busy, and then, like, as regards the show end of it is because, like, people, they're further removed from farming than they were the generation ago, so then they don't actually see what's going on farms, you know. So I just think, and that's one of the reasons I like, and I love seeing people looking at what we're doing, because they say the bond, you know, it's just like that, because there's a bond between myself and the dog, and then they'll do what, you know, she does what I ask her to do, and I never feel she's going to let me down, you know. So sorry about going wrong there. Sorry.
No, Donnie, how long does it take would it take for a dog to get trained to Jess's standard?
Well, as I say, every day is a school day. You know, like, I do something with her today that I wouldn't have done before, so she's learning. But
Like
I'd say
what?
about,
Can you give us
well, like,
different examples of what she can do?
like, I'm loading the geese up into the horse box up there, which I would have maybe done before, but putting the sheep into a pen in a place that I was never in before till the other day. So little things like that. So, but possibly I'd say about a year and a half. You know, like, to get her settled enough to do them things takes a good bit longer than probably just the training part.
And is it because it's in her breeding? Is her mother was good at it, her grandmother, as you said. Do you know, does it have to be in the breeding, or could you train up a pup from a young age?
Well, sure, dogs are like people; they're all different. So you could have one that would be great, and like, she has pups, and I don't know if one or two of them might be as good as her to do the things that she does, and one or two of them might be better to do other things, but I don't know if they'll all actually do the same. So you just wait. But I suppose if every dog got the chance, they might do it, you know. But like lots of farmers don't have the poultry or that they work on. And sure, we have the hens and that, and if you don't put them in at night, you could have the problem with the fox. So that's why I have the dog, and if you're in a hurry, you want to get them in or something like that, she'll do it.
So how many would she be rounding up?
We've about 30 hens, and there's 9 geese up there, and she'll bring them in when you want and whatever you need to do. And then sure, we're working sheep up on the mountains, up on the commonage, so there'll be lots of sheep there. So you'll be doing, could be any amount of sheep, maybe 50 or 100 or whatever, maybe 10, whatever it comes across, you know.
And does she enjoy it?
I think that's really why Border Collies want to work. Why they work, because they want to do it. And as I do say to people, you can't make them do something they don't want to do. You know, like, you can try everything you want, and if they don't want to do it. So we just work with what they have, really, to actually, like, when you start to train a dog and putting them left and right and things, you just let the dog go to the left, and then you tell him to go. It's not actually that that you can make him go, because if the dog or bitch or whatever don't want to go, like, I don't think there's not much you can do about it. So, but when they do it, when they actually are anxious to do it, and most Border Collies will want to work, because that's what, and I suppose we're breeding them through the generations to have that work instinct in them, and they're so clever as well. They're probably one of the brainiest dogs going, I think.
Is there any routine in particular that she enjoys doing the most, or you know she's always going to nail it, she's going to be great?
I couldn't really say that there is. No, she's good at everything. Yeah.
Great.
The one thing that I'm fairly sure of, that she never has bitten anybody and never shows any signs of aggression, and children can come up and pet her and all, but when people say, does your dog bite, I say no, but she has all the equipment, because, like, how do you know your dog doesn't bite till he really does bite? Like, so then you know he did bite, but you don't know, so you can never.
And Donnie, is she taking part in any competitions today? Can people see her in action?
I'm doing a demonstration back up at 1 o'clock, but there's no actual competition.
Okay.
So
whereabouts is that demonstration?
Just up in the Sheepdog trials area, just across from the Vintage, at the top of the inside gate 5 and 6.
Well, that's one for everyone to make the time to attend. Thanks very much for coming in to us, Donnie, and to Jess. And